Hey, I'm going to show you how to add an activity for our unit. So the first thing we're going to do is go log in, but before you go there, I want you to look up here. The site you should be loaded, it should be medicalreservecorps.gov. All right, this is the national site where we enter all the unit's activities, and this is where everything counts. So be sure that this is a site you're going to and not the okmrc.org site. So go to that site. Go to login. As you can see, I've already logged in this morning. I'm going to go ahead and log in under that Norman account. This page here shows, you can consider this your main dashboard. What you want to do is come down to the tab area here. You'll see 4 tabs: My Info, Unit, Reports, and Report Issues. What I want you to do, by default, it should already be My Info tab that's active. As you can see, moving over to the other tabs here, the mouse changes to a hand asking you to click. Okay, so My Info tab. This very first tab entry, the Add Edit Unit Activity, is the one you need to click. So this is where we're going to go ahead and start by clicking and then adding our unit's information. Now, everyone's assigned to a unit, and if you logged in right, if your account is set up properly here, it should say Oklahoma Region 6, Cleveland County, MRC. All right, go ahead and click on that. And this is where the fun begins. So you want to make sure that you're on this page that has our region, and it has the add new activity. All right, as you can see down here, these are all the older activities we've done so far, and it's sorted by chronological order. So you can see the last entry was done on November 20th. The Earth, Wind, and Fire training class. You can see it's green, it's new, it's been recorded, so this is okay. What we want to do is go to Add New Activity, and this is basically follow the prompt. Okay, so it's going to start with the type of activity by date, then go to the name, event type, impact, volunteer, rate, and review. Okay, so pretty self-explanatory. We're just going to answer the questions and type in the information it asks for until we're done. Okay, so was this event an emergency response? No. Okay, choose that, click the next. The start date will bring up the calendar, and as always, our trainings are the second Thursdays of the month. Be sure that you put the start date as well as the end date. Now, because this is just a training event, it's only going to be the start date for the 10th and then the end date of the 10th. But if we're doing an exercise where it spans over 2 days or more, obviously you can change the end date to accommodate that exercise or activity. All right, so let's hit the next button. Event name. So what I've done, and I consider this kind of a best practice, is to go ahead and have something pre-typed up, so you don't have to worry and spend time about what you want to say. Okay, so what we did on the 10th was basically an event that we have every year towards, it's the last training event of the year, where we kind of recap what we've done as well as forecast and look at the goals and special projects we have planned for the next year. So the event name, Cleveland County MRC 2016 forecast and dinner. Hit next. This tells you, or it's going to ask you, what this event is all about. Okay, we already selected non-emergency. It's a public health event. We can go ahead and add more things by selecting one or all of these options here. So did it strengthen public health? I think it did. Did it serve a vulnerable population? No. Does it support non-emergency community events? Sure, because the things that we're doing as the Norman Emergency Response Team, working together with the Cleveland County Medical Reserve Corps, always is strengthening the public health as well as supporting non-emergency community events that we've done in the past, like the Renaissance Fair and so forth. Develop, strengthen the MRC unit, obviously. Improve community preparedness, resilience, yes. And why not? Train, exercise to improve unit or community response capability or capacity. All right, that's done. Click next. The description and impact, again, go back to the file you created. This was a simple event, and if we need to, we can always go back and modify it. All right. Looks good. Hit next. All right. This is where we put in the number of MRC recipients or participants. Now, the sign-in roster is very important. I know that Don, you created a additional column that asks whether or not they were MRC or CERT, and I appreciate that. So the number of official MRC participants was 13. This here is going to ask for the total number of volunteer hours. What I'd like to do is actually go into the calculator, because we have several psychiatrists, LPCs, and so forth, and nurses here. The more professional standing they are, the more hours are given to us, which makes us look good. So what I'm going to do, I already have a list here. I'm going to go ahead and pause for just a second. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. The mailman came to the house and the dog started to bark. Anyways, let's go back to the professionals here. So, licensed professional nurses, you can see the MRC volunteers and total hours served. So, for the nurses, I know we have 2 that were in attendance, and they were here 2 hours apiece. Mental health professionals. There were 4 of those guys, again at 2 hours apiece, and the rest of us were non-medical professionals, 2 hours apiece. And as you can see here, the numbers associated with the volunteers and the hours they spent, this is where the impact also hits us, to show how many people, to show the makeup of the team, and when they're there, how many hours they put in. It doesn't matter. It just makes us look good. So make sure that we get the professionals added in as accurately as we can. Go ahead and hit submit. Okay, you can see that, well, there's a mistake there. It should not be 15. Let's go back. Okay, let's count this again. My mistake. 6. There it is. There's the problem. All right, we've updated that. Hit submit again. So total number of participants were 13.6, with an economic value of volunteer service of close to $140. Next tab is the review tab. You can see this is the opportunity to see what we've done is correct. Look through here, make sure everything's accurate. If this is accurate as best you can, hit submit. This screen shows here, says that the new activity was created successfully. Go ahead and click the close button to navigate to the activity list. And when we get back to the activity roster, you'll see that this entry was inputted correctly, and we're good to go. So this is an example of how to add an activity to our unit roster. If you have any questions, I'll be available for call Monday afternoon. Thank you. Bye.